Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Notorious with the Outsiders expansion. We are beginning our Trilogy, which is like a new game mode introduced with the Outsiders expansion. And this is a solo RPG based on the game Ronin by Thiago Junges. This is Notorious by Jason Price. Great game. The expansion makes it even greater. Now, for the Trilogy, we have our character that we made in the last video, Lochs Gil, who is a fish-like alien. We have the veteran nomad type. And we have our weapons here. We have a little bit of details in terms of our background. Again, for more information about my character's background, go back and watch the last video. We have our contract, our target, Tas Ackbo, who is a Kimano or an amphibian alien, who basically has kidnapped a promising young apprentice from the Mystic Order. And we have basically got to kind of get them back. So in order to find this apprentice, I don't think we can kill the target. I think we need to keep him alive so that either us or the Mystic Order can then find out where the kidnapped person is. And this is all going to take place on the planet Talus, which is a desert planet, so that could cause a problem. What does it say here? You land your ship in a canyon on the edge of the dunes to avoid causing a scene. Yeah. So we've landed our craft and we've now got to basically travel the land and visit destinations to try and get information about where the target is. And in doing so, we need to build up our character in terms of our three stats: favor, notoriety, and motivation. I have a rifle and I have a staff, both of which give me a +2 attack or +3 against a lead or a target, and I have a +2 defense. Not the greatest stats, but we shall have to see what happens. So, we are using the Trilogy mode, which comes with Outsiders, where you play like a short campaign of 3 missions or 3 contracts. The first contract, what we're doing here, is going to be using the Notorious book. The second contract will be using the Outsiders book. And then the third contract is going to be using both. Combination of both, where we sort of use tables from each one. And that's a little bit of background, but we are going to start. I am going to be making notes in this little book here in terms of things that I find, in terms of me helping me to remember what's going on, but also in terms of references for later on if I need to remember things. So I'll be keeping some notes here. I'm not going to be doing this full story mode. I'll be doing it arcade mode with story. What else? Okay, the actual gameplay follows a loop. You will be doing an exploration in terms of your traveling, and then you will be looking at a destination. Each of these parts of the loop, you're going to be rolling to see what happens. It's highly likely that you will have some kind of encounter or event. So you do exploration, find out what happens. You do destination, find out what happens, and then you go back. Yeah? Exploration, destination, until your notoriety is high enough that you find leads. Now, leads are like your bosses. In Ronin, these were the villains. You would see your first villain and fight, second villain fight, and then your third villain was the major villain, yeah, the big baddie. In this, you've got leads. I think I think there are ways to deal with them apart from combat sometimes. We'll have to see. But you're basically going lead 1, lead 2, and then the final lead, the third lead, is basically going to be your target. So we have to build up that notoriety so that we can start getting leads and find our target. We're going to start the gameplay. We're starting the hunt. So like I mentioned just now, it is a loop exploration destination. Exploration destination. And we're rolling for each one to find out what's going to happen. Okay, so we start off with exploration. You've hidden your ship and must travel on foot across the wilds of the planet unless you acquire a vehicle or pack beast. Okay, we're going to have to see what happens. All right, exploration events. To use the exploration events table, roll 2 dice. One determines which of the 3 tables you'll roll on, and the other is the event. However, we've got to roll on this table first before we can even look at the events, because this may give us alternatives or it may give us options. Sometimes it will say if your notoriety is a value or higher, you encounter a lead. Otherwise, roll on the events. There are some other parts to the tables which do not involve leads or notoriety, but we're going to see what happens. Right, this game uses wow, okay, that's not going to happen again, but yeah, the game uses 2d6, preferably of different colors, because you may have to roll a d66 where one of them has to be first, one of them has to be second, and you need to be able to state which one is which. Right, we're going to do our exploration. We're starting the hunt. We are looking for this froggy guy, this Kamanu, Tas Ackbo. He's kidnapped somebody that we need to find. We need to bring him in. Right. So we move out from our starship. We move out into the desert. What's the first thing that we come across during this first step of our journey? We roll another 6. My word. A 6. Nothing eventful happens. Gain 1 motivation and roll a die. Right. So your 3 stats, favor, notoriety, and motivation, can go up and down. You can gain points and you can lose points. Now, motivation also has like a secondary purpose. You can actually use points of motivation to re-roll dice. But when you use a point of motivation, it's gone. It's not like your defense. Your defense is used to counter an attack that you can't stop. Once your defense runs out, then yes, you're in big trouble. But at the end of every combat, your defense comes back. Your motivation doesn't. You've got to find ways of gaining motivation to replace ones that you use to re-roll dice. So gaining motivation is always a good thing, and you can only have a maximum of 6 in any of these stats. So I've got 2 motivation, so now I have 3 motivation. Good, good, good. What else did it say? Roll a dice. Okay. We roll a 5. Oh, the dice are rolling high at the moment. What does it say here? What dangerous terrain do you successfully navigate? Okay. So maybe we come across quite a deep crevice in the desert, and it's quite difficult for me to cross this crevasse. Crevasse? Don't know how you pronounce that properly. Crevice. But yeah, we have to basically spend more time than we would have liked to move along the crevice to try and find a narrower spot so that I can actually jump across, or maybe sort of use rope and leap across. So I think that's the first thing that I come across. Okay, so because we rolled a 6, we don't have to roll for any of these specific events. What we do now is we follow the loop. The loop goes from exploration to destination. So we've traveled a bit. We now come across a destination. So we now go to the destination page, and the same thing. We have to roll on the table, and it could normally it requires then rolling for an event, but we'll see what happens. Destinations can include simple markets, hidden dens, crashed starships, military walkers, bustling spaceports, and capital cities. Now, when you roll a destination, and when you roll on this table here, there are actually linked descriptions on the planets. So when you roll up the planet, it gives you a number of these specific locations. Those are supposed to be linked with the ones that you roll up here. So for example, if I rolled a 1 for my destination, you arrive in a small outpost or enclave run by the minor faction. So that's number 1. So that's basically Quan's moisture farm. Yeah. So there are specific location names that you can use to kind of embellish the story. I mean, if you keep rolling 1s, I don't know whether you should keep going back to the same location, but it does add flavour. So maybe I'll do that for the first time that I roll these. Maybe I'll use those names. Right. So we roll, and we're going to find out where we are. Our little journey across the desert over the crevice. Where do we get to? We roll. We get a 3. You arrive at a bustling market or travelling scrap crawler. Run by locals. Okay, so a 3 is a Murian scrap crawler. Now the Murians are one of the predominant species on this planet. They're like rat-like creatures. We have Murians, humans, and Lektok. Lektok are insectoids. Kind of like that, what was that race on Dying Dark Sun? Thrikreen, was it? But it's a Murian scrap crawler. Okay. All right, choose one. Roll once on the destination events table, or speak with a local, then rest or barter for supplies to gain 1 motivation. See, the thing is that destinations can give you all manner of things. It can give you motivation, it can give you favor, it can give you notoriety, it can give you combat. I mean, I need to do stuff. I need to, or do I want to take it? Now let's roll once on the destination events table. So we roll 2 dice. The first dice, or the first die, will tell me which of these tables I'm going to be rolling on. So 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6. And then the second dice will actually give us the specific event. So we're rolling, so I'm going to go black first. Okay, 4, 4. So 4, 4. So it's this event here. A Murian, rat-like species. Agent or thief tries to steal from you. They wait for the right moment when you're distracted. Roll a dice. A 1 or 2, they take something important to you, lose 1 motivation. 3 to 6, you catch them in the act, they're hostile. Why did you seem like an easy or valuable target? Uh-oh. All right, let's roll. We get a 4. Another 4. You catch them in the act, they're hostile. So we got a choice. Now, whenever you interact with the people or the aliens around you, sometimes it will tell you which of the reactions to do. So, for example, it will say they attack you, in which case you have no choice but to fight. Other times it will tell you that they're a specific type of local or specific type of person. And for that, you will need to come back to the reactions table, which is here. And then depending on who they are, you've got a choice of how you can interact or react with them. So for a hostile, we can only select threaten or attack. And this is something that you're going to need to check every time that you interact with somebody else. Like I say, whether it's combat or whatever, the reactions are the way that you interact and react to the world around you. So I can either threaten or attack. Now, this little Murian, let me go back to where we were. Destinations, over here, right. He has a -1 attack and a +1 defense. So he's going to be able to avoid my first hit. But he has a -1 to attack. I've got a +2 to attack. So attacking him could be fairly simple. But again, I'm charismatic, and we have to remember the way that the guild operates. Yeah, only kill when necessary. So, with a hostile creature, you've got two choices, threaten or attack. So let's take a look and see. Sorry. Folding and folding this book here. Right, threaten. You may try to threaten any hostiles you meet to warn them off without resorting to violence or causing a scene. Right. So the only modifiers to the dice roll, because what you'll do is with all of these kind of reactions, you're rolling two dice. One for you and one for the challenge, or one for your opponent. You normally add any modifiers, and if you roll higher than them, if you get a higher total than them, you succeed. If it's equal or less than what the challenge is, you fail. Now the only modifiers here is to add half of your notoriety rounded up. Now at the moment, we haven't done anything. So my notoriety is 0. So it's just going to be literally dice versus dice. I don't like my chances when it's dice versus dice, because the dice gods hate me. So even though the guild doesn't want me killing just anyone, I think I've got more chance of succeeding with the attack. Because if I fail, okay, if I succeed with the threaten, the hostile backs down, he goes away, and we can roll here to see what kind of information we get. We can get some useful info here. If I fail, they attack and they get a +1 to their attack roll. Whereas if I just attack, it's going to be a +2 against a -1, which is definitely in my favor. But again, it's not really going with what the guild prefers. But we are going to attack. We are going to attack this little Murian. 4 attacks. We're going to be rolling 2 dice, one for me, one for them. I think I'm always going to be the black dice, unless I forget. Range situation, I think it's going to be up close because the thief is kind of trying to steal something from me. So definitely he's going to be in melee range, so we'll be using melee weapons. I mean, for my character, melee and ranged are both the same modifiers. Defense, yeah, I've got a +2 defense, so I can avoid 2 of their successful attacks. All right, I think we are ready to go. What was that special ability I had? Was it avoid? The new characters have this special ability. Well, they will have individual special abilities. Ignore the first defense when fighting a lead or target. Okay, so it's not applicable in this case. Right, so we are going to roll different outcomes again. Success or failure have different outcomes. We'll find them here. So we're going to roll the dice. I am black. They are white. Ooh, not bad. So we get a total of 8. They get a total of 3. However, they do have a +1 defense. So what that means is their armor, their dexterity, their defensive measures allows them to avoid their first sort of injury or their first defeat. So what that means is we've now got to go to another round of combat. We roll the dice again. Okay, still good. So I get 6, they get 2. They don't have any defense left and they don't have motivation. Motivation is a value that the player can use to re-roll dice. I don't think there are any enemies that have motivation. I don't remember encountering any previously. So yeah, 6 against 2. He has no defense left. He goes down. Right, so success. Now, there are different rewards or different results. If you succeed against a hostile or lead, and then if you succeed against the target. So hostile or lead, choose your opponent's fate. Okay, if we spare them, we gain 1 favor. If we kill them, we gain 1 notoriety. Now again, thinking in terms of role-playing, thinking in terms of what the guild's rules are, I shouldn't kill unless it's absolutely necessary. However, I do need the notoriety. I need to start building that up so I can find the target. I think at the moment I want to boost my notoriety a little bit. I mean, favor comes in useful for a lot of events and encounters and roles and stuff. But I think I want to start building up my notoriety. So I'm actually going to kill the guy. And then try to explain to the local law enforcement, he attacked me, it was self-defense. So we kill them, we get +1 notoriety. So, +1. Okay, so we've got 1 notoriety now. Good. We need at least 3 before we can even attempt to get leads or find leads. Now, with that encounter, with that event, where was it? Here it is. It then asks us here, okay, why did you seem like an easy or valuable target to the Murian? I think probably because of my character's age. I'm this veteran. I'm this old fish alien. You know, scales are kind of falling off. Colours, sort of becoming less bright. So maybe he looked at me as being sort of an elder, therefore potentially an easy target. I don't think it's probably anything more than that. I don't think it's going to be related to any of the factions or the target or anything like that. I think it's probably just a case of them seeing me as an elder, thinking that I'm an easy target. Right, so that is the first exploration and destination done. For the exploration, we found a deep crevice in the desert we had to cross. We gained 1 motivation, and then we came to a Murian scrap crawler. One of the Murians did try to steal from me, but I chopped off his head. And I got +1 notoriety. Okay, first combat, and we survived. Can't be bad. And now we go back to the loop and we do it again. And at some point, I'm going to find leads. But I've got to boost up my notoriety before that can happen. Right. Also, assets could be quite useful because assets are a way to give you bonuses in terms of your attack, defense, special abilities and things like that. Okay. So now we've done the destination, our first destination. We're now going back up to exploration. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to keep track of all these in my notes. I'm not doing it story style, but I am keeping fairly extensive notes so that I know what's going on. Because I'm old, my memory's not good, and I do tend to forget stuff. So now we're back to exploration. So we leave the sand crawler, or scrap crawler, and we're now going to go and try and find somewhere else to try and find some information or leads that will take me to my target. So exploration again, we roll a d6, we get a 3. If your notoriety is 5 or higher, you encounter a lead. No, my notoriety is only 1. Otherwise, roll once on the exploration events table. Right, so again, we have to roll 2 dice. The first dice tells me which table, and then the second dice tells me the event. So we're rolling 2, 5. So it's on the first one here, and it is 5, so we're down there. What's this? You catch the attention of a hoverbike gang who ride up at speed and swiftly encircle you. Oh no. We have to roll a die. On a 1 to 4, the leader is hostile and fights in melee. So this is what I mentioned earlier. Sometimes it will tell you that you're kind of limited in what you can do. So here it says they're hostile and fights in melee. So I don't think I'm going to have a chance to threaten here. I think it's just going to go straight to a fight. On a 5 or 6, they're just locals patrolling their turf and mean you no harm. Why do they feel the need to form a gang and protect their town? Okay, let's see how we do. We're rolling. We got a 6. They're just locals patrolling their turf and mean you no harm. So they're just checking me out, making a show of force to let them know, or to let me know that they're not going to take any, excuse my language, take any shit, and that they're basically warning me to be careful. Why did they feel the need to form a gang and protect their town? Yeah, I think that's why. And again, I'm thinking they're probably just trying to protect their families. Probably, I think, yeah. Now, on a positive note, I didn't have combat. I mean, because the leader would have been +2 attack, +1 defense. It's nearly as good as me. It's almost as good as me. Because the only difference I have is I've got +2 in defense. That's it. But on a negative sense, I don't gain anything from this event. I don't gain any stats. I don't gain any assets or anything like that. So, yeah, positives and negatives. Right, but that is the exploration. Now we move to the destination, the next destination. So we roll on the table. What do we get this time? A 4. You arrive at a small town run by locals. Now, 4. Vas Remas town, okay? Again, it's just a specific location that's listed here. If I roll another town, I don't know whether it's going to be the same town that I keep going back to. Maybe it's another town. Right, what does it say here? Small town run by locals. Choose one. Roll once on the destination events table or speak with a local and then rest and barter for 1 motivation. Again, I'm tempted to do the destination events because I want to try and boost up my stats. I mean, motivation's useful, but I want to try and get some more notoriety. Let's roll on the events table. And again, we're rolling 2 dice to see where we're going to be rolling. So black first. We got a 4-4 before. Now we've got a 5-5. Which means we are rolling on this table, and it is number 5. A monster is loose, and the locals are struggling to contain it. It's unusual to see these creatures in populated areas. Okay, so choose one. We're not rolling, we're choosing. Either attack and subdue the monster to gain 1 notoriety, +4 attack, +1 defense, or simply watch the chaos unfold to gain 1 favor. So favor is not necessarily favor of the locals. It's normally a measurement of your standing within the guild. So in this case, gaining favor is not necessarily, it's not because I'm helping the locals, because in this case I'm not. But what it is it's a measurement of abiding by the guild's rules. You know, don't kill unless it's absolutely necessary, kind of thing. So I think, I mean, the notoriety would be useful, but +4 attack. Yeah, I can't trust my dice. So I'm going to choose a second one. I'm just going to watch and let the monster do its thing and then sort of leave. Whether it's leaving with a local in its mouth or not, I don't know. But I've got to uphold the guild's rules. So I am going to gain 1 favor. So I've now got 3 favor, which is useful because there will be times when it says add half. Like, for example, when you're speaking or recruiting as reactions, you can add like half your favor to the roll and things like that. So favor is very useful. But yeah, I'm just gonna watch what happens and then just gain 1 favor. That's all I'm gonna do for that. Now, what does it say here? Where has this monster come from and what has enraged it? Okay, so this planet, the controlling faction is the Targ cartel. Basically, these like large slug aliens, like a crime family. So I think on this planet there's a lot of illegal activity going on that the Targs control the majority of. So I'm thinking maybe this monster maybe came to the town as part of some kind of illegal shipment for reasons I don't know. But maybe it broke loose of its cage and basically ran amok for a little bit, maybe took one of the locals and just ran off into the desert, into the dunes to have some lunch. Kind of thinking, that's the kind of vibe I'm thinking for that one. Right, that is our second destination done. So again, continuing the loop, I've really got to boost up my notoriety. I need to start finding these leads. Right, continuing the loop. We go back to exploration. Here we go again. Right. D6. What do we find this time? A 5. If your notoriety is 3 or higher, you encounter a lead. Nope. Still only 1. Otherwise, roll once on the exploration Event table. Black first. We got a 3 and a 6. Right, so table 3, event 6. Table 3, event 6. Down the bottom here, right. You find a new uprising starfighter. New uprising. They are not one of the main factions here. Okay. Half buried in the ground. The pilot is a local, alive in the cockpit but unconscious. Choose one. Wake the pilot and try to speak to lose one favor. Why would I want to lose one favor? Why is there a starfighter battle happening in the skies above this planet? Why would I choose to lose one favor? I think I've said this before. As I mentioned, I've actually played this a lot when it was released. And this is the same one that I was playing. This is the Notorious, the basic game. I actually played this a lot when it was first released, but it's been a while. But I think I've had this before. I think I was kind of asking myself the same question. Why the hell would I lose favour? Choose to lose favour? Maybe if it really did fit your story and you were really into the storytelling, role-playing element of the game and you really put story before anything else. But I don't. Loot the ship to gain 1 motivation. What does the crackling radio chatter reveal about how the starfighter battle is going? Okay, so we get 1 motivation. So I've got 4. Very useful. You can only ever have 6. If you have 6 and you find more, you don't get them. You just lose them. What does the crackling radio chatter reveal about how the starfighter battle is going? Well, the thing is, New Uprising is kind of like the enemy of the old empire, who are the challenging faction for this planet. So, how the starfighter battle is going? I think it would probably just be a skirmish. I mean, because like I say, the New Uprising isn't one of the factions on the planet or who's kind of currently interested in the planet. So this may just be like a little skirmish, maybe like a scavenger raid or something. How does it reveal about how the starfighter battle is going? Well, I mean, let's let the dice decide. So on a 1 to 3, the Empire is winning the starfighter battle. On a 4 to 6, it's the New Uprising. The New Uprising seem to be winning the current battle going up in the skies. Luke is doing well. Okay, that's the exploration done. So as we're going out of the Vas Remas town, as we go back into the desert to find another location to find leads, we come across that starship, half buried. We loot it, we find a little few bits and pieces, and we look above and we do see vaguely, because it's so far away outside in space, but we do see a little battle going on there, and it seems that the New Uprising seems to have the upper hand. Right, so we continue across the desert and we come across the next destination, because that's the loop. We roll, we get a 4. You arrive at a small town run by locals. Now again, the planets do have specific kind of names or locations for the destinations you roll. Now previously we did roll a 4 for the last destination, which was Vas Remas town. So am I going to go back to the same town, or would this be another town? I think in this case we'll probably go back to the same town, maybe just to replenish our supplies, but we still have to see what's going to happen. Right, so Van Remas town, choose 1. Roll once on the events table or speak with a local to gain 1 motivation. Again, I've got 4 motivations so far. I really want to try to get some notoriety, so I think I'm going to roll on the events table again. Okay, black first. 5, 2. So table 5, event 2. Actually, is this centered? No, it's not centered, is it? All this time it hasn't been centered on the camera. I do apologize. Give me 1 second. I do apologize for that. Is that better? I think it's centered now. Right. Not sure why it wasn't centered. Never mind. Right. 5.2. So table 5.2. The environment here has become more dangerous than usual. The locals gesture at you to seek shelter immediately. Okay, so maybe there's some kind of sandstorm going on. So I've got to choose one. Either help the locals battle the elements to gain 1 notoriety but lose 1 favor, or ignore the locals, find my own makeshift shelter to gain 1 motivation. Well, I mean, I gained a favor a little while ago. So, I mean, I could lose that favor. I wouldn't be any worse off, but I would gain a notoriety. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to help the locals battle the elements. How do you put your skills to good use in helping them to prepare? Well, you know, sort of normal, sort of making sure that all the windows and shutters are closed, board up what needs to be boarded up to prevent broken glass, maybe prepare some sandbags to protect some of the more delicate parts of the town, like the well, things like that. Any sort of standard aid. But we are going to gain 1 notoriety, so we've got 2 now. But we do lose 1 favor. Not preferable, but it's okay, because at the moment I want to try and boost up my notoriety a little bit more. Because the thing is, with things like when you speak to a local or when you try to recruit allies or assets, you use, I think normally you use half your favor rounded up. So having 3 there would have actually given me a +2 to the roll. Now it's only a +1. But I do have 2 notoriety now. So I'm on the way, and I am getting close to being able to find leads. Right. So yeah, that is the destination done. Right, follow the loop. Go from exploration. How am I doing? Exploration. Right. Roll a d6. What do we get? We get a 5. If your notoriety is 3 or higher, no, it's a 2. What's the betting when I get 3 notoriety? I'm going to start rolling 2s and 3s, which is I need 6 or 5 notoriety. Okay. Otherwise, roll once on the exploration events table. Okay. What do we get? Black first. A 6-2. So table 6, event 2. Table 6, event 2. And since this is exploration, it's like wilderness events, we don't have to worry about the actual specific locations on the planet. Right. 6-2. You stumble upon an unusual statue that looks like it's been here forever, and you pick up a broken weapon that's lying nearby. Roll a die. Okay, and a 1 to 3. It reminds you of your trigger, and you lose 1 motivation. Oh, what was my trigger? Long history with Huskar's Corsairs, killed their previous leader, they're not happy. Okay. A 4 to 6. You witness a vision of the previous owner's fate and gain 1 motivation. What do you learn from this place? Okay, let's see what happens. So we roll, you get a 5. You witness a vision of the previous owner's fate and gain 1 motivation. What do you learn from this place about a fallen warrior of the Mystic Order? Ooh, I'm kind of friendly with those guys. Maybe he was cut down by a group of these Murians, these scrap crawlers. Maybe they came across this part of the land where this statue is, where maybe this Mystic Order warrior was sort of supposed to be looking after, sort of cleaning, controlling, protecting. Maybe they wanted some of the metal that was around the area, or maybe around the facilities. They wanted to sort of take the metal and the scraps and everything. And maybe the warrior was trying to protect the resources at this statue's location. and they just cut him down through sheer weight of numbers. So, okay, that sounds good. That sounds pretty decent, and we get one more motivation. Well, I'm stacking up the motivation, aren't I? Right. So we've gone across this new stretch of desert. We've come across this statue, a broken weapon that gives me a slight vision. I'm not a mystic warrior by any means, but it gave me a slight vision of how this warrior was cut down by these rat-like aliens, the Murians. Right, continuing on, we come to our next destination, which is a 4. Are we back at town again? Maybe we go to a different town this time. Roll once. Okay. I don't really need motivation, got to be honest. So I'm going to be rolling on the destination events table again. What are we going to find this time? Black first. A 6-5. Okay. Table 6. Fuck. There's another monster. I think it's the same event as I had the last time. I think on the second round or the second loop, when we were in town, there was a monster loose. I chose to watch and gain 1 favor because you had +4 attack. I don't know if I can win against it. So we're going to do the same thing as last time. I think this is like another crate. Maybe they brought in a bunch of these creatures, these monsters into town. And what for? Maybe they're doing some kind of hunt event where they let loose these things into the desert and then they sort of hunt it down. Yeah, but maybe this is the second one to break free. Maybe it is the same town. Or maybe it's like each town has their own thing. Maybe it's like a tradition in this part of the world where the towns basically get these like illegal monsters and they do their own thing. So each town may be involved with this in their own little way. So we get, what is it? +1 favor. Okay, that replaces the one I just lost. Good. But yeah, I think it's a similar situation to what we had before. Maybe the towns in this part of the world, in this part of the desert, they have this thing, they have these like traditional hunts. But the thing is, the monsters get loose before they're ready, and it's feeding time. Right, back to exploration. I need 1 more point of notoriety, because then I've got a chance of finding these leads. Okay, exploration. What are we going to find this time? A 1. Haven't had a 1 yet for explorations, have we? Right, what does a 1 do? There's no sign of your target, but something interrupts your hunt. Roll once on the exploration events table. Oh, okay. We just roll. So again, black first. We get a 3-2. So, what are we going to find? What are we going to find with a 3-2 up here? 3-2. You find a torn backpack bearing the logo of the challenging faction. The challenging faction is the Old Empire. It contains an ID card, data pad, and a stack of credits. Ooh! Right, choose one. Vow to return the owner's belongings to their faction, to lose 1 favor but to gain 1 motivation. Meh. Discard the backpack and pocket the credits to gain 1 favor. Oh, hells yeah, that's much more like it. Because I don't really need motivation as much as I need favor. I mean, motivation can be lost quite easily if the dice start going against me when I start interacting. But I think I want the favor. So yeah, I'm going to gain 1 favor because I'm going to pocket the credits. Right, now we go to the next destination. We've gone across the desert. We found a backpack, taken the credits. Destination. I think this is going to be the last destination this is going to be the last loop for this video. It looks like each of the episodes of the trilogy is going to be more than 1 video because this is already very, very long. So this is going to be the last segment for this video will continue in the next one. So our final destination for this video, or for this loop, is a 2. Okay, something a little bit different this time. You arrive in a small outpost or enclave run by the challenging faction. Uh-oh, Old Empire. Didn't I just find a backpack of theirs? Choose one. Search for anyone who might know your target to gain 1 favor. Speak with a local who works here, then rest to gain 1 motivation. I think I'm going to speak, because like... Yeah. I think I'm going to speak. 2. Modular garrison. And this is for the Old Empire. Okay. Search. Now, I have watched some videos of Notorious, and some of them they forget to do the search. Searching is not an automatic success. It says here, search for anyone who might know your target to gain 1 favor. The thing is, searching is actually an action here, so it's not like an automatic thing where you gain that reward. You may have to fight somebody. Yeah, so we're going to roll on this table here for the search. So I'm rolling. We get a 5. Now, what does that mean? That means find a local who's been paid to keep an eye out for nomads. Aha. Gain 1 notoriety. What blatant lie do they tell you to hide their true motive? Ah, so we got some kind of snitch. Well, blatant lie, so obvious. So maybe I'm searching for people to try and find information about the target, yes? Search for anyone who might know your target to gain 1 favor. Okay, so basically this guy, I'm asking about the target, where are they? I'm trying to find leads. And this guy sort of makes a blatant lie to basically say, oh, what's his name? Tas Ackbo. Yeah. I heard he left planet. I heard he went to another planet. Yeah. Blatant lie. But at least I know that he's going to be here, because like the way that he says is obvious. So I gain 1 notoriety and I gain 1 favor, because it says here, search to gain 1 favor. So I gain 1 favor, woo, and 1 notoriety. Oh, hell yes. I'm coming close to finding a lead. There is a chance now I can find leads if I roll right on those tables. And I've got 5 favor and 5 motivation. Things are looking pretty good. Oh, I shouldn't say that, should I? I shouldn't say that. Anyway, I think this video is long enough. We haven't found any leads yet. We have done a bunch of traveling and exploring. Yeah, that's from the last video. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4. We've done sort of 5 loops, exploration and destination. We found a bunch of stuff. We've had 1 combat against a thief that was pretty easy. And we have we've boosted our motivation and favor quite nicely. And as I mentioned, our notoriety is now at a point where it is possible to get leads. But I need to start getting those blooming leads, because I've got to find 3 of them. Yeah? Boss, target. Right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you can see how the game plays. The next video will continue our journey looking for Tas Ackbo on Talus, the desert world. So yeah, until the next video, until part 2 of this target acquisition from Lochs Gil and myself, take care, stay safe, and I will see you in part 2. Cheers.